Once the jewel of empires, Babylon stood as the city of gold, its walls unbroken, its people drunk with pride. But on a night when the lamps burned bright and music filled the halls, destiny crept in through the shadows. The mighty city slept while its doom marched silently at the gates. This is the tale of betrayal, terror, and the night the golden city fell. Let me take you on a journey through the ancient lands of Mesopotamia, where the mighty Babylonians marched into the history books. Get ready to explore the epic battles and conquests that made Babylon the center of the ancient world. The fall of Nineveh, 612 BC. Imagine a city so feared that its name sent shivers down the spines of neighboring kingdoms. Nineveh, the capital of the Assyrian Empire, was that city. Its walls seemed impenetrable, its warriors unmatched. But the Babylonians, joined by their allies the Medes, were determined to bring it down. After a fierce siege, the walls of Nineveh were breached, and the city was consumed by flames. The once mighty Assyrian Empire was crumbling, and Babylon was the force behind its downfall. The last stand at Haran, 609 BC. The Assyrian king, desperate to revive his empire, fled to Haran, a city that would become the final stronghold of a dying empire. But the Babylonians were relentless. They marched on Haran, and after a brutal battle, the city fell. The Assyrian Empire was no more, and Babylon's dominance was cemented. The Battle of Carchemish, 605 BC. Far to the west, the Egyptians had rushed to the aid of their dying friends, the Assyrians. But Nebuchadnezzar II, the brilliant Babylonian king, was ready for them. At Carchemish, a strategic city on the Euphrates River, the two armies clashed. The battle was fierce, but in the end, the Babylonians emerged victorious. Carchemish fell, and with it, the Egyptians' hopes of saving the Assyrian Empire. Babylon's control over Syria and Palestine was now unchallenged. The conquest of Jerusalem, 597 and 586 BC. But Babylon's ambitions didn't stop there. Jerusalem, the holy city of Judah, had caught their attention. The city's king had foolishly rebelled against Babylon's rule, and Nebuchadnezzar's army was sent to teach them a lesson. In 597 BC, Jerusalem surrendered, and its king was taken away in chains. But the city rebelled again, and this time the Babylonians showed no mercy. The walls were torn down, the Temple of Solomon was burned to ashes, and thousands of its people were exiled. The fall of Jerusalem would echo through history, a testament to Babylon's military might. The Siege of Tyre, 586 to 573 BC. One of the most epic sieges in history was the Babylonian conquest of Tyre, a wealthy coastal city famous for its ships and trade. Nebuchadnezzar's army laid siege to the city for 13 long years, but the Tyrians refused to give up. They were masters of the sea, and their city seemed impregnable. But the Babylonians persevered, and eventually Tyre was forced to submit. Though the city had resisted fiercely, it ultimately fell to the Babylonians. The legacy of Babylon. In a span of just a few decades, the Babylonians had conquered some of the greatest cities of the ancient world. They had crushed Nineveh, burned Haran, defeated Egypt at Carchemish, destroyed Jerusalem, and broke the pride of Tyre. Their empire stretched from Mesopotamia to Syria and the Levant, a testament to their military prowess and strategic brilliance. But all empires rise and fall, and soon the Persians would rise to challenge Babylon's dominance. Yet the legacy of the Babylonians would endure, a reminder of a time when they were the masters of the ancient world.
Yes! We did it! For Babylon!
Victory is ours.
Tonight, my people, we shall feast and dance. Let merriment fill the streets of Babylon. Fill the streets of Babylon. The streets of Babylon.
The night Babylon fell. Imagine a city so confident in its own power that it let its guard down, literally. That's exactly what happened when Cyrus's Persians marched into Babylon. While the Babylonians were busy partying, the Persians were busy taking over. Party like there's no tomorrow. Inside the royal palace, Crown Prince Belshazzar was hosting a massive bash, complete with thousands of nobles, wives, and concubines. They drank wine from sacred goblets stolen from Jerusalem's temple, mocking foreign gods and praising Babylonian idols. Meanwhile, the city's defenses were left unguarded. The walls that were supposed to keep them safe. Babylon's walls were legendary, but the Babylonians were so confident that no army could breach them that they left the river gates unguarded. That's where the Persians struck, wading through the drained riverbed while the Babylonians slept or partied. Ominous signs ignored. During the feast, a mysterious hand appeared and wrote glowing words on the wall, a prophecy of Babylon's fall. Instead of preparing for war, Belshazzar was terrified and distracted. Meanwhile, the Persians were already inside the city. The people were clueless. Most citizens were fast asleep, unaware of the invasion. Babylon was so large that parts of the city didn't even realize they'd been conquered until morning. By then, it was too late. The Persians had taken control of the palace, gates, and streets. The Babylonians were too busy partying. When the Persians invaded, the Babylonians were feasting and drinking at a royal banquet, overconfident in their walls, neglecting their defenses, distracted by omens and fear, sleeping peacefully, unaware of the invasion. That's why Babylon fell without a fight. They weren't at war, they were at a party.